I'm Mitchell Miller.
Curtis Weed.
And you're both senior Crown prosecutors?
Yes.
Okay, and so tell me about the sentence today. Are you satisfied with it?
I think what we're going to do, as we always do, standard sort of procedure, is that we'll look at the written decision of the judge and then make an assessment after we've had a chance to thoroughly review the decision.
Again, it was close to what you had been asking for in terms of jail time, 3 years originally. Now we're getting 2 years less a day.
That's correct.
So no general thoughts, just on jail time as opposed to no jail time at all?
Well, from sitting there listening to the decision, it sounded like Madam Justice Krogan took a thorough look at the authorities, the sentencing authorities in this area. She certainly mentioned the range of sentencing and discussed that thoroughly. And again, it's a case where we want to take some time and look at the decision and then assess it after we've had a chance to take a look at it in that way.
How unique of a case was it? We heard some of the, I guess, unusual circumstances. No alcohol, no past criminal record. Have you seen anything like this before?
Actually, if you look at the sentencing decisions that were discussed in court today, there have been cases where there's been no alcohol involved. I think one of the perhaps unique factors in this case was the length of his driving inattentiveness, and she did mention that in her sentencing today.
Can you just outline, I guess, the ultimate goal that you hope people, I guess, take out of this story in this sentence?
You know, it's a sad case, and it's a tragic case that didn't have to happen, and it's, I think, the message, and I think the judge discussed that today. It's the general deterrence issue and she specifically mentioned driving in these construction zones. And it's tragic. It's a sad case because this was all completely avoidable. And I think the message from this case is, when you're in those orange zones, when you're in the construction zones, pay attention. That's your duty. And we all, as members of society, have that duty to take care in those zones so that things like this don't happen.
We have seen some changes to enforcement in those zones since this case, since the past 3 years. Do you think that that's already been effective before this decision was
I honestly can't comment on how effective that enforcement has been. I don't know.
Just basic tweets, people coming back in. I know Twitter's Twitter, but just saying, already calling it lax and not enough. What would be your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, we operate in the parameters of the case law that we have, and that's what we did today. Of course, we had asked for the 3 years and a 5-year driving prohibition. And again, it comes down to, we'll look at the decision, we'll assess it, and after we've done that assessment, we'll decide what we're going to do with respect to the decision.
Have you spoken to Ashley's family?
I did. I spoke to them immediately after court.
And what were their thoughts, I guess?
I'm going to keep that between myself and the family. If the family wishes to speak to you about that, I'll let them handle that themselves.